Okay, so moving on, you've got your own TyFry range. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the products and why you developed them and maybe how they've changed over the years?
Yeah, sure. It started as a home economics project where I just had to learn how to sew something. And then I realized that I wasn't actually completely happy with the sounds that I could. I wanted more. I wanted more control over the variety of sounds I could create.
Yeah.
When I was younger. Okay. So and traditionally, just so people in the audience are aware, a tenor beater. So I do a large bulk of the tenor beaters that are used in mainly pipe bands throughout the world. So a tenor stick traditionally consisted of malacca or rattan cane or dowel rod in some parts of the world with a bead on the end and cork in the head. And then it was traditionally covered with chamois leather,
I remember them.
like what you dry a car with, right? But then it later evolved to just like a little bit of fur on top. For me, that it didn't give me the flexibility to create a variety of sounds. So I created as part of a home economics project when I was 13, or 12, whatever it was, I experimented with putting the head of a beater together. And then I realized I could start experimenting with different materials that could create different sounds and et cetera, et cetera. Anyways, long and the short is, by about 1996, I developed a stick that we were using, the 78 Fraser Highlanders, that had 3 different densities in the head. So it's a tri-density head. I found ways of threading at the time the head onto an acetal, or I think you call it polypenco over here, shaft. Yeah. And same thing with the knob on the end. So that prevented them from flying apart. But I had 3 different densities in the head that just by striking a different way or on a different angle, I could create a different sound. Okay, so by 2000, I took some of the revenues that from when I was younger, and finally had enough to buy a mold that was going to do from the core of that head to the butt end of the beater all in one piece. So that made it more efficient from a manufacturing standpoint, and it also prevented any of those traditional problems of heads flying off or knobs on the end flying off. Because keep in mind, you're spinning these things in the air, and there's a lot of movement, and you're hitting drums, twirling them around. They are going to fly apart.
I mean, right? I know in the military, the small end that used to fly off all the time.
All the time. As a kid,
you lose a whole stick.
Yeah, you would
left out with a lace.
Just a lace in your hand.
Yeah,
spot on. And I didn't want that problem to occur again. So I finally invested in a mold that did it. It was more money than I think it was more money than I put down in my first home, by the way. But I made the investment, no clue whether it was going to work or not, but it did. And I was able, I had a stick that was all in one piece with 3 different densities. I kind of created something cool. So then by 2004, we'll call that the TyFry Classic. By 2004, the TyFry Platinum came out because I learned how to make it lighter, a little bit more aerodynamic, for lack of a better word, but just easier to flourish.
Yeah.
And then the practice beater came out. So we never really had something that we could use to practice tenor drumming on a pad or a table. So it was a specialized head. It looks like rubber. It's not rubber, but it's a smaller head, but same general weight and balance as a tenor beater, where you weren't going to wear down all the fur and the different densities. And then by 2012 came up with the TyFry Ultimate. And it's just, the whole thing's just been an evolution, a growth, just like you in the BDC. You're always trying to improve everything you're doing every single day.
Yeah, technologies change all the time.
Materials change.
Yeah,
we're going through material shortages now across the board in every industry, aside from drumming, right? Yeah. Housing, blah, blah, blah. You need to adapt and change. And so it was really exciting for me to create something that allowed me to create the sounds I wanted to produce, and qualitatively knowing that I wasn't going to lose a stick or have it fly part of the World Pipe Band Championships.
Yes.
Right in front of those BBC cameras, you can only
most crucial time.
The most crucial time, right? And and finally to fulfill a need for everyone else in the market that previously this type of product never existed. Yeah. So fulfilling the need.
No, I mean, so you touched on obviously COVID there, and that issues that everybody's got at the moment. How has COVID affected your clinics, your production? As you know, is it obviously it's stopped you traveling around the world, but have you been able to do stuff via, digital formats?
Yes and no. COVID changed. I don't think, I hope that none of us ever deal with anything like COVID ever again. First point. Number two, it's been tough. I think for anyone in the music industry, it's been a really tough go. Think about it. I'm assuming like Ian Matthews, who's a director of this company, I'm assuming that Kate Kasabian tour got postponed. Am I right?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of them in the UK pretty much got shut down.
Yeah, that's it. You couldn't do what you were planning on doing.
Yeah.
So, and there's only so much you can do digitally in music. So easy answer. No, I was not traveling the world doing, I was used to being on the road 8 months a year.
Yeah. So what have you been doing with your time?
Innovating, trying to think of the next step for TyFry or my brand. I got some things up my sleeve for the drumstick as well, which is exciting for me because these are things I've wanted to do for 30 years, but never really had the time or energy because I was on the road 8 months a year to be able to pull it off. So I've got lots of things in the making on that front. But it gave me a lot of time to really just focus on not only me, and I don't mean that selfishly. I mean, I had the space to be able to finally pursue with other passions like that. Spending time with my family or even digitally. So yes, I did do some master classes online, but for me, it's not the same. And I know musicians felt the same way. You feed off a crowd, the energy of an audience. And it's not the same when you're sitting on Zoom.
No, if you're trying to learn as well, it's a lot harder over a screen than it is.
Without a doubt.
I know a lot of people have really bought into that during COVID.
Sure.
I'm seeing more and more content going online than I've ever seen.
Which I think will be great for our game long term.
Yeah.
To have for especially people in remote areas like me growing up. You couldn't even send me a videotape growing up from the UK because we couldn't play it on a VCR player in North America, right? We were NTSC, you guys were PAL. PAL was more advanced, so we could play NTSC sometimes, but we couldn't play yours. I think it would be amazing for many drummers to have access to a lot of the content that's sitting online now.
Yeah.
Like looking at what Stephen Shedden's been doing, unbelievable.
It's just been nonstop.
Nonstop, all through COVID. I don't think the guy's put his sticks down for 2 years or whatever it's been now. But I hope we can get back to the point where we can be doing what you and I are doing right now. This is my first time in the UK for 2 years. And
I know. Like I said, we've been trying to plan this for God knows how long, and it's just taken so long. And things have been cancelled and back on and cancelled again, and so it's great to get you here and be the first one on the sofa.
I'm honored to be. You're not quite Graham Norton, but you're up there. Or Jeremy Corbyn for the Americans. Is it Jeremy Corbyn? No, not Jeremy Corbyn. What's his name?
Clarkson?
No. Who's your host? The British guy. He's on American telly.
Oh, James Corden.
James Corbyn. Jeremy Corbyn. He's the Labour leader, isn't he?
Was.
So good chat. Don't mean to get into politics, but
swiftly moving on then. So looking like things are changing in the world. I know they're sort of changing constantly. We don't know how it's going to go. Without giving too much away, have you got any plans or projects over the next 2 years that you're looking forward to doing, or are you just looking forward to getting back into the the scene and traveling and teaching and all that?
I'm really excited about getting back, being able to meet and see everyone in person again, whether that be through master classes or through the pipe band championships. So do I have other plans? Yeah, you bet I do. I've got plans. I don't ever stop. But yes, so as I've already alluded to, I've got a lot of innovative things that I'm hoping to have ready to go soon. And just like I know you guys do.
Yeah, well, we'll see how we get on with that.
Maybe you'll show me later.
So we went to PASIC in America, and was it 2019?
It was 2019. Yeah.
And I think we got you on stage with Stephen Shedden. You both played, and I think that opened up a lot of people's eyes who were there about the whole tenor drumming scene.
Or pipe band drumming.
The amount of people I had come after me and ask about all that side of it and how amazing it was, and how they'd not seen it before. They'd not been exposed to that sort of, they hear pipes all the time,
Yes.
and but they've not actually physically see it. I mean, it was incredible the reaction that you yourself got, let alone Stephen as well.
Thank
But
you.
it was the fact that they've not seen it, and it's this is what I like about this is exposing people who were not from that world into the world, and vice versa. So that, I mean, for me, that was pretty cool. So I let alone your tenor drum, and I saw you snare drumming when we had a bit of a pad jam.
Yeah.
So
I was the weakest link.
Which I didn't know you could drum. So I'm gonna ask the next question.
It was a long time ago, Stu. I haven't played for 20 years.
So you can drum, you can tenor drum. Can you play the bagpipes?
No.
Or can you squeeze out a tune? Or no, you can't. You literally have you tried? Or
yeah, I'm not. I mean, I know what every note on the bagpipe is, but don't ask me to play anything. No, and no, I don't think my lung capacity can.
So it's not a party trick, no.
No party trick. No. I'm brutal. How about you, Stu?
No,
I know you guys.
No, I can only just get
Here
some
in
sticks together.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
So obviously you've had this amazing career. If you could go back to a younger version of yourself, what advice would you give? Would you give any advice, or would you just let it go, knowing it's going to turn out how it did? Or
I think all of us have that conversation with ourselves every day. Am I going down the right path, the wrong path? I'm scared. I think number one is I think the most important thing I could tell. Let me just use an example. Leaving the 78th Fraser Highlanders in 2003 to join Shots and Dykehead on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean. That just, as exciting as it sounded, that was a scary move.
Yeah.
How was, I had a vision of tenor drumming and what it should be, and but at the same time, I had such a massive respect for Jim Kilpatrick. And was Jim going to be open to some of my ideas? Here's where I'm going with this. That was a massive step for me. I don't mean professional. I mean just internally to give up my world in Canada to join a band in Scotland where I don't know what I'm walking into.
Yeah.
But I know that I'm hopefully learn a lot in the process. I think in business, in pipe band, or just basically in life, I don't think anyone should be scared of change. And I think every time when I feel the most vulnerable or I'm scared the most, and literally like I probably need to run to the portaloo, they've always ended up being the most rewarding experiences for me. So where I'm going with that is I wish I could go back and tell myself, yes, it'll all be
okay.
It's all going to work out.
Yeah.
Or if it doesn't, you'll make it work out. And I have no regrets about any. With every mistake I've ever made, it's been a learning opportunity.
Yeah.
It hasn't been okay. So I think with failure breeds success too. And I wouldn't say that everything we always did in drumming or in life or anything has always been perfect, but you learn from it, and you either get caught up in the fact that you failed, or you use that as a stepping stone to succeed. So not being scared of change. Number two, treating every failure or where you when you think things aren't working the way you want them to, use it as a learning opportunity.
It's a learning tool
to move forward.
Yeah, and you can always look back.
That happens in business too. I'm sure you make mistakes.
Yeah, and you can look back on your life and see that certain points where things move, push in that direction, and at a pivotal point of, the next part of your career.
Definitely. But you don't always see. I wish you could see the future at the time.
No, you don't see it at all. No, it's not until later on.
When you're in the Marines, I bet you never thought you'd be in this role in a
and for
top
me,
drum company.
It was I can look back on mine and know what physical points got me here in different places, and and it's all down to certain things. And you think, well, if I'd not been there or done that,
this would have never happened.
Yeah, no. So you don't know where you'd have been, but there's always pivotal points within your life which have got you to where you are.
Definitely, and so thank you. I hope that answered your question.
No, that's great. So what I want to do now is what I'm going to call the Essential 10, which is a quick fire round. I'm just going to give you two options, and you've got to choose one or the other. There's no getting out of it, okay? It's got to be one or the other, okay? So here we go. I'll start you off nice and easy.
Scared.
Coke or Pepsi?
Pepsi.
That was meant to be easy.
No, I know, but I've learned through failure. I've succeeded through failure. My point is that I don't know. I'm flip flopped.
Right. So this quick fire round. Okay. Right. It might be a tough one. White wine or red wine?
I flip flop. Sauvignon white.
Summer or winter?
Summer for sure.
Pineapple on or off a pizza?
Oh, definitely off. My Italian friends would kill me. Ask any Italian.
Good answer. Adidas or Nike?
I just bought one of each shoe up in Glasgow. I think I like the Adidas better.
Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
iPhone or Android?
Oh, iPhone.
USA or Canada?
You're putting me on the spot with my entire mark. Canada. I was born there.
Netflix or Amazon Prime?
Amazon.
Facebook or Instagram?
I won't be hip with the youth if I say Facebook. Instagram.
Wow. What we got there in the end?
No, I'm joking. Well, that was easy, huh?
So the one word answers was not a thing, no? As
No.
in,
No, well, we can learn through failure.
So just to sort of finish this up for those who didn't know who you were before this and want to know a bit more, how can they find a bit more about you or your products or what you do?
Yeah, no, I mean, very simply put, my company's website is www.tyfry.com. My Instagram's at TyFry Ltd or at TyFry Ltd. And I'm clearly on Facebook as a company. TyFry Ltd is on Facebook as well.
Perfect. Well, thanks for that. It's an honor having you as part of the company.
No, thank you.
It's been great having you here for the first person on the sofa episode. So thanks a lot for coming. So until the next one, take care.
Cheers, guys. Bye.